I'm going to show you two presentations. One is bad and one is good. And I want you to try and identify what the key differences are. The Great Pyramids of Egypt are one of the greatest designs in human history. The pyramids are made up of 2 million blocks, and each block weighs 2.5 tons. That's the equivalent of a rhinoceros. This is a truly astounding fact. When I was a boy, I loved watching the movie The Mummy. That movie got me fascinated with Egyptian culture, architecture, and of course, tombs. And I think the most famous tomb of all is the Great Pyramids. Did you know that 2 million blocks were used to create the pyramids? And each block actually weighs 2.5 tons. That's the same as a rhinoceros. So who would you rather listen to? The first guy or the second guy? The second guy, right? Because he was far more interesting. And we've got to ask ourselves, why is that the case? I believe there's 5 reasons, and I'm going to share them with you now, and feel free to comment below with what you think made the difference between those two presentations. The first reason is notes. The guy in the pink top was holding on to his notes the entire presentation and looking at them as well. The other guy in the burgundy top was not looking at any notes. He didn't have any notes. And what having no notes does is it gives you freedom to truly connect with your audience. So when you're doing a presentation, try and rehearse your information enough, practice enough, so that you don't even need notes on the big day. The second reason is a smile. Pink Top didn't smile at all. He looked tense and anxious, and he looked like he didn't want to be there. Whereas Burgundy Top did look like he wanted to be there. In fact, he was smiling before he even started speaking. And it makes a huge difference in terms of building rapport with the audience, showing that you're comfortable and showing that you actually want to be there as well. Third is gestures. Pink Top didn't gesture at all. He was clutching his notes the entire time. Whereas Burgundy was gesturing. Every word he said was accompanied with a gesture to back it up. And you have to remember, most of your audience are visual learners. So the more you can use your hands to paint a picture as you're speaking, the clearer your communication will be for them. Fourth was making it personal. Pink Top didn't make it personal at all. We learned nothing about that guy. He just told us the pyramids are made up of 2 million blocks. The facts about the pyramids. Whereas Burgundy started with, when I was a boy, I loved watching the movie The Mummy. That movie got me fascinated with Egyptian culture, architecture, and by starting with that personal story, we gained a little bit of knowledge about his character. We were able to connect with him more. Maybe you have watched The Mummy as well, and you thought, oh, I get this guy a little bit more, and it brings a bit more warmth to the presentation. You have to remember, whenever you stand up and speak, one of the key questions your audience have is, who are you? And if you don't answer that question, you're going to fail to build trust with them, and that will result in them not taking any action on your words. So make it personal. And then fifth was voice. Pink Top sounded like this. The Great Pyramids of Egypt are one of the greatest designs in human history. So very little variation at all in his voice, quite monotone all the way through, and a little bit of anxiety showing its face as well as he was speaking. Whereas Burgundy sounded like this. Did you know that 2 million blocks were used to create the pyramids? And each block actually weighs 2.5 tons. That's the same as a rhinoceros. Did you see how much more dynamic his voice was? It went loud at times, it went quieter at times, it sped up at times, it slowed down at times as well. And it's that variety in his voice that kept the audience engaged more during his presentation. If you're thinking, this is great, Kyle, but I don't know if I'd be able to control my nerves enough to speak without notes, to gesture more, to do all of these key things, well then check out this video here. It'll give you 4 strategies for overcoming your speaking nerves. Subscribe to this channel if you found the video helpful, and I wish you the very best, my friend, with your next presentation.